guys, it's Letitia. I'm super excited to be here today, and I hope that you're really excited to be able to continue doing some music despite all of the crazy things that are happening in the world. Now, today we're going to talk a bit about breathing and how that connects to support and control. I talk about breathing in every single singing lesson we do because it is so important. When we talk, when we're just existing in our day-to-day lives, we breathe without even thinking about it. We breathe whenever we feel like it, and we don't even think about the breaths we're taking. We don't consider how deep they are, we don't consider how supported they are. When we start singing, we have to be a bit more intentional with this breath. When we sing, our breath needs to be deep and it needs to be supported. So the way that this video is going to work is I'm going to take us through some exercises. I'm going to talk about what's happening in the body, and you can follow along with me as we do it. And I want you to be really aware of all the things that are happening within your body. One last thing I want you to think about before you do this breathing work is keeping the top half of your body really nice and relaxed. All of the work should be going on down here. There's lots going on in here and lots going on in here, but this top half is nice and relaxed. Your neck is straight and relaxed. Your shoulders aren't doing this. The metaphor I like to think of is, have you ever seen ducks on a lake? They look all nice and peaceful, don't they? They look like they're just enjoying the sun, floating around. But do you know what's going underneath that water? Their legs are going crazy to stop them from drowning. Their legs are going absolutely nuts. Now that's the metaphor we use in singing with our breathing, our control, and our support. This top half, it's relaxed. We look like we're just chilling, we're relaxing, we're just floating along like those ducks, and all the work is going in your torso really, in your stomach, in your lungs, in your chest, in your back. This bit is the legs of the duck. This bit is the floating above water. This video should be used at the beginning of your practice, and it will help you sing longer notes, it will help you sing quicker phrases, and you'll just have a better awareness of it. So let's get straight into it. Now, when I'm talking about deep breathing, I'm talking about taking breath all the way down into your stomach. What happens when you do that is this muscle underneath your lungs called the diaphragm, it drops down to enable you to take air lower into your body, and that means you can take more air in. So we're going to put our hands on our waist, and what you're going to do is you're going to take a really deep breath in. And I want you to feel that air coming into your hands. You should feel expansion in your tummy. Hold it for a second and let it out again. Nice and slow and controlled. Now, we're going to do a few of these together, and I want you to focus on taking that air into your sides, feeling it coming into your hands. In, 2, 3, 4, holding, and out again. In, holding, and out again. Take another one with me. Feeling it filling up my sides, holding it and letting it out again. Really well done. I want you to keep taking note of how that felt within your body, and I also want you to take note of how you feel now. You should be more aware of your breath, but you should also be more relaxed. You're probably a bit more at ease after doing that. That's another reason why I really love doing these breathing exercises at the beginning of our practice, is sometimes when we come in, especially when we come into a lesson, or if we've got a stressful performance coming up, we can be a little bit frazzled. And doing these breathing exercises actually doubles up as a relaxing exercise to get us prepared to sing and to be comfortable, because we sing our best when we're most comfortable. We're going to add something onto this exercise now. I mentioned where we're going to talk a little bit about support and control, didn't I? Now, what we're going to do on the next deep breath in is we're going to let it out on a long hiss sound like a snake. For as long as you can. So do it with me. We're going to take a deep breath in. Oh, and if you're going longer than I am, which I would absolutely love to hear that you are, pause the video and keep going until you finish that hiss. I want you to go with that hiss until you need to take another breath. So deep breathing into your stomach. How did that feel? Did you find that you were able to keep it nice and even? Did it feel uncomfortable towards the end? Or did you realize that perhaps you didn't take as deep a breath as you think you did? Now, we do this exercise because it helps us learn how to control that breath and that air. What is the point of taking a beautiful deep breath that fills up our body full of air if we just let it all out again? The example I like to think of is at the end of cross country or a big race, and you go to say hello to your friends and you go, hey, how you guys doing? You let it all out because, you're puffed, that's why, but we don't want to be in that state when we're singing. That deep breath you've taken, if at the start of a phrase you go, it's completely useless. You've let it all out. You took all this air in just to let it all out at the start. What's the point in that? These hiss breaths teach us to control that breath and let it out nice and slowly. Now we're going to do 2 more of these together. And again, if you go longer than I do, I would like you to pause the video and go for as long as you can. Now let's get started. Deep breath into your stomach. One more. I don't know about you, but I felt like that was difficult towards the end. Really well done getting through all of those. I want you to notice if it got easier or more difficult. I want you to really be aware of all these things happening within your body. When you're a singer, your body is your instrument, and it's very important to develop an awareness of all these things going on. That will only make you a better singer. We're going to do one more thing. I mentioned we were talking about support and control. We talked a bit about control. Now we're going to talk about support and how that can link in with our breathing. Now, all we're going to do is that same exercise we did, except we're going to break up this hiss into short little bursts. Now imagine I've got a balloon. What would happen if I just let this balloon go? They fly all around the room and it just lets it all out in a big... It's a bit crazy, isn't it? Now, what would happen if I grabbed the end of that balloon full of air and I opened it and closed it in little bursts? That's what we're going to be doing. Now, we're going to do one of these with me. You're going to take a deep breath in and let it out in quick little in those quick little bursts. How did you find that? Did that feel a bit different? It should have. So what you're doing when you're doing those quick little, I almost think they're a little bit aggressive. They've got a bit of punch to them. Those quick little Pulses force us to engage these muscles down here. Now, our muscles within our abdomen are actually super useful when we sing as well. So, particularly when we're singing higher notes within our head register, engaging these muscles down here can help make those notes a bit stronger. And that's what we call our support. If you imagine, it's like these muscles down here are giving that sound a bit of support. I'll give you an example right now. I'm going to sing a random note and I'll have my thumb like this as I'm not engaging my core, and I'll put my thumb up as I do engage my core. And I want you to notice the difference in the sound. Did you notice any difference? Now, you might have noticed that when my thumb went up, when I engaged these stomach muscles, that note had a bit more punch to it, didn't it? It had a little bit more support. That's what we call this, using our abdomen muscles here, and that's why we use this exercise where we pulse on those hisses to feel that engagement. You should feel a little out in, out in, out in your tummy. We're going to do 3 deep breaths with these hiss pulse exercises together. And I want you to really, really focus on feeling that out in, out in, out in, that engagement of this core muscle down here. Together with me. How did that feel? Did you feel that muscle working? Did you feel that weird little dun dun dun? It's really interesting, isn't it? It's quite a weird feeling when you're first doing it, but I promise if you keep practicing these, it'll become like second nature. Now, we're going to put all of this together and we're just going to go from the top. We're just doing some deep breathing. We're going to do some long hisses, and then we're going to do some hiss pulses. So then when you've watched the first half of this video and you understand all my talking bits, you don't need to hear me waffling anymore. You can just skip to the end and do a nice breathing exercise and then be ready to jump into your vocal exercises and then into whatever song you're currently working on. We're going to start off with 5 deep breaths. Hands on waist. Holding it, and out again. Breath in, down to the tummy, holding it, and out again. Breath in, holding it, and back out. One more, breath in, holding it, and back out again. You know what, actually one more. Really deep breath in, holding it, and back out again. Beautiful. Now 3 long hiss breaths. Deep breath in. Beautiful. Breath 2, deep breath in. We're going to do one more. Deep breath in. Really well done. Now our last one are hiss pulses, focusing on feeling all of it down here. We're going to do 3 breaths of this. Breath 1. Great job. Breath 2. Really well done. Final one of these. Fantastic work, everyone. Thank you so much for coming along with me doing this breathing work with you today. Reminder, you can use this at the beginning of all of your practice sessions just to gain an awareness of your breath, to practice that deep breathing, to think about your support and to think about that control. Get that feeling of using your support and controlling that air that comes out. After you've done this video, I'd love it if you could please do 2 to 3 piano exercises that will be in the exercise playlist, and then find 1 or 2 songs that are just making you happy this lockdown. Songs that are getting you through this lockdown. Give them a practice. See if you can do a backing track. There's heaps on YouTube, heaps on the internet. All you have to do is search song karaoke or song backing track, song instrumental. Thank you so much for today, guys. I'm looking forward to hearing how you went with the video. Have a nice lockdown, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in person again. Bye-bye.